Oh, that's okay. I got it. I just, why don't you sit right over here? Sure. Thank you. I tricked you. No worries.
There you go.
Good afternoon, friends, neighbors, brothers, and sisters. My name is Brad Chevalier. As president of Congregation Beth Shalom, Local Tzedek, and on behalf of Rabbi Marcy Bellows, our cantor Belinda Brennan, and our choir director Margaret Gister, we welcome you to our spiritual home in celebration of our Thanksgiving Interfaith service. We especially welcome our state representative, the Honorable Christine Plum, and the clergy from all participating congregations, Reverend W. Allen Flockhart, Reverend Joy Perkett, Reverend Brett Bitkowski, Reverend Dr. Jan Gregory Charpentier, Reverend Timothy Hout, the Reverend Linda Spears, and Reverend Benjamin Streley. I know the Reverend Brendan McCormick was planning and looking forward to joining us, but wasn't able to be here this afternoon. We also welcome with gratitude our participating choirs who have united as one to lead us in spiritual hymns this afternoon. As you know, the year 2020 will mark 400 years since the landing of the Mayflower. As we come together to celebrate and give thanks, I feel it is important to acknowledge the fact that the land on which we gather in prayer today is a territory of the Hamanasset, Matavasic, and other First Nations that lived here before us, who stewarded this land throughout the generations, and who sacrificed and suffered in the creation of this great nation. As we gather here today in celebration of gratitude, fellowship, community, and faith, we thank them for their strength and resilience in protecting this land, and we aspire to uphold our responsibilities according to their example. With this in mind, I'm privileged to call up to the Bima our guest of honor, the Honorable Christine Plum, who serves as 36th District as our representative in the Connecticut House of Representatives. In her short tenure in our state capital, she was named the 2019 Environmental Champion by the Connecticut League of Conservation Voters, as she led the effort to mandate climate change education in our public schools. I also want to let you know that Representative Plum unfortunately won't be able to talk with you at a reception. She has basically a launching, a campaign launching in Deep River. So after the reception, if you're interested, you're more than welcome to join her there. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much to Rabbi Bellows and Reverend Friday for this invitation. It is truly an honor to be here with you. And I was saying earlier that as much as I am very strict about the separation of church and state, I feel very privileged to be here in this interfaith group in a non-political sense to celebrate the common good, especially during this Thanksgiving season. I came of age as a Roman Catholic in what I now consider to be a golden era of Catholicism. It was the time of caritas, which most of you know means love of humanity. And in my family that meant fighting against hunger and poverty primarily, and it also meant protesting. My mother was a devout and somewhat conservative Catholic, but she kept me out of school to march with Father Daniel Berrigan against the Vietnam War. And that was a radical thing for a Catholic to do at the time, and I will always be grateful to her for that because it planted the seeds of activism in me. And when I would ask her why she would take this strong step, she said, because it's your job to fight poverty, war, corruption, the whole Megillah. She had no idea what Megillah was. I'm quite sure she thought Megillahs were a tribe in Ireland, just like Megillah was. And that was my first taste of ecumenism, or at least some sense of the non-Catholic. From there, it was a very short leap to embracing Islam, Judaism, and all religions, not just the Abrahamic faiths, that deepen our instinct for peace. So thank you all very much for coming together in this spirit, especially now because God knows we need it. Acts of violence and hatred against people because of their faiths are, as we all painfully know, dramatically on the rise. Lillian Segre, whom some of you will know, is a Milan-based activist and a senator for life in the Italian parliament. She was deported as a child and sent to Auschwitz. There are now 200 cases per day categorized of hate acts against her because she created recently a commission to fight anti-Semitism. So to think that a woman like that, who endured all she had to endure, is now being vilified is just heartbreaking to me. But that kind of thing is happening nearby too. In Norwich, which is just a stone's throw from us, the Otis Library recently shut down a commemorative exhibit to honor the Sikhs who were massacred in the 1984 genocide. And they did this because the Indian Parliament objected to the slam that the Sikhs were oppressed. So rather than use it as a teachable moment, the civic leaders decided just to close it down, which I think is a terrible mistake because it was a chance for people to come together and actually learn about their shared history, whether they agreed on the interpretation or not. So what do we do about that sort of thing? One thing we do is come together in groups like this, and I'm grateful for all of you leaders for bringing all of us together. It takes a lot of courage to do that. And when my courage falters as a politician, which I admit it sometimes does, I think back on Wilbur Cross, whom some of you know was governor of Connecticut in the 30s at the height of the Great Depression. And I think his bravery in abolishing child labor, enacting a minimum wage, bringing Roosevelt's New Deal, all of these things were real signs of strength. And since we are entering the Thanksgiving season, some of you will know this prayer. Really, it's a proclamation, but it's, I think, one of the most beautiful pieces of English writing that I've ever heard. I've shortened it dramatically in instances of time, but I wanted to read you just a bit of Wilbur Cross's proclamation because it's a tradition in my family to read it on Thanksgiving. And keep in mind, he wrote this, or he issued this in 1936 at the height of the Great Depression, when the state, like all of the country, was in a real state of despair. He said, "Time out of mind at this turn of the seasons, when the hardy oak leaves rustle in the wind and dusk falls early, and the friendly evenings lengthen under the heel of Orion. It has seemed good to our people to join together in praising the Creator and Preserver, who has brought us by a way we do not know to the end of another year. We are grateful for the blessings that have been our common lot, for all those things that nourish and strengthen the spirit to do the great work still ahead, for the brotherly and sisterly act and word, for honor held above price, for steadfast courage in the long, long search after truth, for liberty and for justice freely given to each by his fellow and so freely enjoyed, and for the crowning glory of mercy upon our land, that we may humbly take part of these blessings as we gather once again with solemn and festive rites to keep our harvest home. May we all have Wilbercross's mindfulness of our blessings. May we all have the yearning for honor above price and justice freely given to others, for peace in our land, and especially now with our nation in crisis and our planet on fire, and our communities turning against one another because the false narrative that the other is to blame for our personal disappointments. May we all strive for that steadfast search and the long, long search for truth. Thank you for gathering. I'm sorry I can't stay. I would love to hear from all of you, and it really was my honor to be here. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hopefully everyone had a chance, I do have a mic, I don't need to speak though, okay. Hopefully everyone had a chance to grab a copy of our service on your way in, so you'll be able to follow along. There are a number of responsive or group readings, as well as the words to the many songs that our incredible joint choir will be sharing with us today. As they were preparing and rehearsing ahead of time, and as you've already heard, it's a glorious and joyful sound that you all create together. And I feel it's so symbolic of the feeling that we create together in joining as one community, one Valley Shore community, all of our houses of faith, and just saying, you know what? Together we are all grateful. Together we are good. Together we care about each other. Together we make this world a better place. And so, as words of welcome, I'm Rabbi Marcy Bellows, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. I figured Akiva probably gives it away. But I want to share with you just a brief reading about giving thanks, written by Alden Soloway. To whom shall I give this grateful heart? This joy that shines through the center of my being. To you, my friends who hold me, support me, and carry me along the way. To you, my God, source of strength and hope. To whom shall I give these praising lips, this gladness that echoes from the depths of my voice? To you, my friends, who teach me, guide me, and honor me along the way. To you, my God, source of wisdom and truth. To whom shall I give these powerful hands, this energy that infuses my bones and sinews? To you, my friends, together we will build this world into a temple of justice and peace. To you, my God, together we will bring the light of holiness and love. Blessed are you, my friends, in our moments of celebration together, and our moments of service to each other. And blessed are you, God of all being, source of my life, creator of joy and gratitude. Amen. Amen.
Good afternoon, friends, and thank you, Rabbi Marcy, and all of you who call this house of worship your home, for opening your doors and making it our home for this afternoon. It's good to be together in the presence of the Holy One and in the company of one another in this season of gratitude and thanksgiving. May every season be a season of gratitude and thanksgiving. Give ear now to these words that open our gathering this afternoon. Within these walls, we are surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue and the church as visible signs of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long histories, our endless wanderings, these buildings have endured, beacons of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Their presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in turn, come to this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of a community gathering in thanks, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer.
So, welcome everyone. We have a custom here at CBSRZ where we like to do a meet and greet, right? So everybody a chance to connect to one another. And we're going to do that in just a few short minutes, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. We have the very good fortune that our choir director, Meg Gister, brought us a wonderful piece, and it has just 3 words. Peace, salam, and shalom. And there are 4 very short phrases. And actually, this melody was composed by an activist duo, Pat Humphreys and Sandy O, called Emma's Revolution. And these 3 words, with these 4 short phrases, were written 2 days after the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Center, as a response to all of the welling up of revenge. And they understood the importance of countering that with this message of peace. And in fact, when the tunnels and the city was opened up again, they sang it, and the streets were lined from Union Square to Times Square. 10,000 people gathered together. So I think if 10,000 people can do it, we can do it. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to teach these short phrases. And after that, I'll explain what we're going to do. So just for a moment, we're going to sort of let these words of peace and this melody come in. So here's the first phrase we're going to teach, right? Peace, salam, shalom. All right, now that's your turn. Peace, salam, shalom. Oh my God, beautiful. Peace, salam, shalom. Your turn again. Peace, salam, shalom. Number 3. Peace, salam, shalom. Your turn. Peace, salam, shalom. Last one. Peace, salam, shalom. Your turn again. Peace, salam, shalom. Guys, good, quick. Let's do that one more time all together, and then I'll give you the heartbeat. Okay? Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. Peace, salam, shalom. All right. Oh my God, you guys, awesome. So, what we are going to do is we're going to, in a moment, we're going to rise, and we're going to walk and sing. And we're going to kind of greet each other through our body language, through eye contact. We can, sort of nod and bow, and it's for some people it can be a little disorienting because we are connecting in a very different way. We're kind of, as Meg mentioned earlier, we're connecting at more of a soul level. Music has a way of doing that, and as we look at one another, and we just smile, nod, go, and we're going to keep singing. And maybe a little squishy, but I have faith. Like I said, 10,000 people, we can do this. So people at the ends, as we get going, you can start moving out and move around. And if you really, really don't want to do this, you do not have to. You're not doing it. Nobody's going to judge. No judging. No judging. No judging. All right?
Shalom. bless you. And God bless you. Many blessings from Trinity Lutheran Church in Centerbrook. That's what I feel like. In the beginning of beginnings, when there was mostly just dark and light and a little bit of chaos to sweeten the pot, God nodded in approval. This is good, but not enough. So then there was water in heaven and earth. There was an above and a below, and a somewhere in between, where God's breath hung, water to the fertile ground. To the earth I say thank you for the abundance of your gifts. There is grace in the wheat that dances and bounty. I cannot own you, but I will tend you with care. To the heavens I say thank you for your glory. There is such wonder in the play of stars and light. For you I reach, in you I find. I cannot own you, but I will tend you with care. To the water I say thank you for your blithesome liquid beauty. There is power in your ceaseless surge and release. I cannot own you, but I will tend you with care. And to God I say thank you for bringing us here to this season of joy. We cannot own your bounty, but we will tend it all with care so that we may come again to say thanks for this season of joy.
To bring greetings from the First Congregational Church in Westbrook. Life as a Banquet by Alden Sullivan. God of sacred time, source of sacred space, creator of holiness, divine light of wonder and awe, my vision is clouded. My sight is limited. The horizon of this world binds my perceptions. What I see and what I know are tied to my awareness. Heavenly hand of wisdom, guardian of realms above and realms below, you who give understanding and insight, grant me the grace to live my life as a banquet, a river of abundance and blessing that yields food and clothing and shelter that I accept with humility and thanksgiving. Give me the strength and compassion to share these gifts with those in need, to become an instrument of divine bounty. You who provide gifts beyond measure, guide me with your love, teach me with your holiness, show me the path to charity and service, so that I live a life of dignity and honor, with reverence for your creation. Blessed are you, God of time and space, by the bounty teach.
Good to be here. Blessings to the beautiful downtown East River. Where all the women are strong and all the men are good looking and all the children are all average. There is a holy word that we share in our traditions. The book of Isaiah, and it reminds us that in all of our thanksgiving and gratitude, which is the heart of all sacred living, a sense that we can never separate that spirit of thanksgiving and gratitude from being a blessing to others, being a blessing to this world, and that truly our thanksgiving is always temporary until we know that the whole world can share in that spirit of gratitude, well-being. From Isaiah 58. Cry with full throat without restraint. Raise your voice like a ram's horn. Declare to my people their transgression, to the house of Jacob their sin. To be sure, they seek me daily, eager to learn my ways. like a nation that does what is right, that has not abandoned the laws of its God. They ask me for the right way. They are eager for the nearness of God. Why? When we fasted, did you not see? When we starved our bodies, did you pay no heed? Because on your fast day, you see to your business and oppress all your laborers. Because you fast in strife and contention, and you strike with a wicked fist. Your fasting today is not such as to make your voice heard on high. Is such the fast I desire? A day for men to starve their bodies? Is it bowing the head like a bulrush and lying in sackcloth and ashes? Do you call that a fast? A day when the eternal is favorable? No! This is the fast I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of the yoke, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. It is to share your bread with the hungry, and to take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, to clothe him, and not to ignore your own kin. Then shall your light burst through like the dawn, and your healing spring up quickly. Your vindicator shall march before you. The presence of the eternal shall be your rear guard. And then when you call, the eternal will answer. When you cry, God will say, here I am. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, and you offer your compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then shall your light shine in darkness, and your gloom shall be like noonday. The eternal will guide you always. God will slake your thirst in parched places and give strength to your bones. You shall be like a watered garden, like a spring whose waters do not fail.
From the people of St. John's Episcopal Church in Essex, I bring greetings and many blessings. When justice burns within us like a flaming fire, when love evokes willing sacrifice from us,
when to the last full measure of selfless devotion, we demonstrate our belief in the ultimate triumph of truth and righteousness.
then your goodness enters our lives, and we can begin to change the world.
May we find peace with those we love, growing together over time.
May we be at peace with ourselves and with the labors that fill our days.
May we fashion peace in our world with wisdom and gentle patience.
not, rather than part of it. In his absence, and we certainly miss him greatly. I will leave the response of reading Maimonides' ladder of giving. There are 8 degrees in the giving of charity, each one higher than the one before, to give grudgingly, reluctantly, or with regret.
To give less than one should, but with grace.
To give what one should, but only after being asked.
To give before one is asked.
To give without knowing who will receive it, although the recipient knows the identity of the giver.
To give without making known one's identity.
To give so that neither giver nor receiver knows the identity of the other.
To help another to become self-supporting by means of a gift alone, or by finding employment for the one who needs one.
So it is a tradition of our Interfaith Thanksgiving gathering each year to collect charity, or in Hebrew, we call it tzedakah, and to give it to an organization which we care about and which will help to rebalance the scales of justice. And the reason I point that out is that tzedakah, that Hebrew word, the root is tzedek, which is justice and righteousness. And so in the giving of charity, we are doing it, yes, because it's coming from the heart, but we're also doing it because we perceive an imbalance in justice. And by giving whatever we can, wherever we find ourselves on Maimonides' ladder of giving, that we want to rebalance that justice and righteousness for all. And so we have a few of our CBSRZ folks who will be coming around. Forgive us, this is a little out of practice for us. But we will, we'll do our best to pass baskets around. Do we need other volunteers? Right here, okay. All right. And I believe we'll be donating to the shoreline kitchens and pantries, as we have done in the past, which is such a worthy and important local cause.
Right, John? Okay, John?
Thank you so much for generously giving and for helping to take care of our neighbors and our friends in such a lovely and generous way.
I echo Linda's sentiments and good greetings from Anglians in the greater Essex area. Let us pray. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
And now it feels like our service has gone so quickly. A closing prayer before our final beautiful song. And I do hope that at the conclusion of our service, you will join us in our social hall for, after Sabbath services on Friday nights, we have something called an oneg. And even though we call it an oneg actually means joy. And so it's one of the ways we add joy to the Sabbath is by having some cookies and brownies and deliciousness together, schmoozing, and it's great. So I hope you will join us for some schmoozing and sweets all together as we continue to celebrate our Thanksgiving together. So a Thanksgiving prayer. For the laughter of the children, for my own life breath, for the abundance of food on our tables, for the ones who prepared the sumptuous feasts, for the roof over our heads, the clothes on our backs, for our health and our wealth of blessings, for this opportunity to celebrate with family and friends, for the freedom to pray these words without fear, in any language, in any faith, in this great country, whose landscape is as vast and beautiful as her inhabitants. Thank you, God, for giving us all these. Amen. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you all for coming.
That was nice.
No, exactly. I feel that way right now. Right now.